Welcome to our new channel, School of Motivation. Today, we're gonna talk about a special woman I admire to her determination and ambition, Marie Curie. Marie Curie is the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in Physics, and her achievements earned her the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Also, she became the first scientist in Nobel history to be awarded twice. Moreover, while achieving the successes, she also struggled with the male-dominated world of science. After all this information, let's start over. Who is Marie Curie, or in other words, Madame Curie? Marie Curie, who we know as a French scientist, was born on November 7, 1867 in Poland as Maria Skłodowska. Her father, Władysław Skłodowski, was a physics and math teacher in high school, and her mother, Bronisława Skłodowski, was the director of a boarding school. When Curie was just 10 years old, her mother died of tuberculosis. Marie became interested in science under the influence of her father. But in those years, in Poland, under the rule of Tsarist Russia, girls were not allowed to receive education in scientific fields. Both Curie and her sister Bronia were eager to go abroad to get a diploma. Unfortunately, they didn't have the money for school. Curie made a deal with her sister that Bronia would go to Paris to study medicine, and when she finished school and started working, she would help Mary to study in Paris. Mary immediately found work and started babysitting. She was sending some of the money earned from babysitting to her sister, and with the rest, she was saving for her planned education in Paris. When she had saved enough money to live on, she went to Paris, and at the age of 24, she started her education at the Sorbonne University. Life in Paris was not easy. There was poverty and hunger for ordinary people due to wars and civil strife. She devoted herself to scientific work. Finally, she managed to finish the faculty with the first place without freezing to death and starving. Despite all the difficulties, she successfully graduated from physics in 1893 and mathematics in 1894. She met him shortly after, Pierre, a scientist with very valuable inventions. The 35-year-old French physicist Pierre Curie was head of the laboratory of the School of Industrial Physics and Chemistry. With the contribution of their common scientific interests, Mary and Pierre bonded and got married on July 26, 1895. From this date, she took the name Marie Curie and became a French citizen. Their daughter Irene was born in 1897. The couple's living and working conditions were not good during these years. They did not have a suitable laboratory to carry out their research. They made their discoveries in an unheated and ventilated shed in the garden of the college where Pierre was a faculty member. When Irene was only 1 year old, another miracle happened for humanity. They discovered two elements that were more radioactive than uranium. Mary named an element her country in which she was born, polonium, and it is still used today, which is hoped to cure many diseases in the future, radium. Cancer patients can still be cured with radiotherapy developed thanks to this element. She discovered polonium and radium in the year 1898. In April 1898, she reported this to the French Academy of Sciences in a note bearing her sole signature. However, According to the dominant scientific understanding of the period, it was not considered normal for a woman who was only a doctoral student to send such a note without the signature of her father or husband. The discovery of radium in 1902 brought great fame to the Curies. This was because it was understood that it could be used for the treatment of cancer in medicine, and of course it was commercial. But they weren't interested in monetizing their discoveries and didn't patent them. To them, radium and polonium belonged to all humanity. In 1903 was discussed Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to Henry Becquerel and Pierre Curie. Pierre's Swedish colleague reported this to him. According to Nobel archives, Pierre protested and said that Mary should receive the award as well. The Nobel Committee agreed that and received the award together with Henry Becquerel, Pierre Curie, and Marie Curie. Thus, Mary became the first woman to win the Nobel. And in 1904, their daughter Eva was born. Living with 2 children and doing scientific research without any commercial concerns had exhausted them economically. Despite this, they often spent their own money to buy the necessary supplies. But this situation did not break their desire to work. Pierre Curie died in an accident in Paris in 1906. After Pierre's death, his post at the Sorbonne was offered to Marie Curie. Thus, for the first time in France, a woman was given the title of professor. Curie devoted herself entirely to scientific studies and succeeded in obtaining radium as a pure metal. This success earned her the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1911. She became the first scientist in Nobel history to be awarded twice. She also struggled with the male-dominated structure of the scientific world. The members of the all-male French Academy of Sciences rejected her membership by one vote. It was alleged that there was a relationship between Pauline Jevon, a close friend of Pierre Curie, and even her second Nobel Prize was thrown into the background. In 1914, the Radium Institute was founded at the University of Paris, and Curie was appointed its first director. Throughout her life, she drew attention to the importance of radium in medicine. She and her daughter Irene taught X-ray technology to young women by making portable X-ray machines during World War I. She also showed physical therapists how to use radiology equipment in a combat environment. During this time, she was exposed to high doses of radioactive rays. In the 1920s, she continued her contribution to science. She was instrumental in founding the Radium Institute in Warsaw. In France on July 4, 1934, when she was only 66 years old. In her life, which she leads by wondering, questioning, and struggling tirelessly. As a result of the radioactive elements that she loved so much in her life and lived together for the sake of discovery, affected her body and made her sick. She died in a sanatorium, died of blood cancer. That's why she's called the woman who died for science. She was buried in the family cemetery in Sceaux after her death. On April 20, 1995, the graves of Marie and Pierre Curie were moved to the Pantheon, the National Mausoleum of France. Marie Curie is known to be the first woman to be awarded this honor for her achievements. you.